Okay, it looks like I'm live, so I'll go ahead and get started here. Tonight we're going to make 4 cards with the Waves of Inspiration bundle. So this became available, it was an early release, but it's in the 2022-2023 annual catalog. And that's the catalog that we're currently in. It started on May the 3rd. So my name is Theresa Tucker, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And I have been using Stampin' Up! Products since about 2009. And so I do this primarily as a hobby, but I'm also running it as a business. I'm getting ready to retire from the University of Illinois, and I need a way just to make a little extra income. So this is what I'm doing. I love to craft, and you don't have to be crafty, but anybody can craft. Anybody can use these products and make beautiful cards. First though, before we get started on this, I just want to bring your attention to a new starter kit that is currently running from the first part of May to the end of May. So I guess, yeah, tomorrow is the last day for this awesome offer. And what you get is for $99, you get to pick $125 worth of anything in the catalog you want. And the shipping is free. And with this, you're going to get also the in color starter kit. So these are extra on top of the $99 that you're going to spend to get the $125 worth of products. This is thrown in for free. This is about a $67 color kit. So what does that include? That includes 20 sheets of our in color cardstock. So you would get 4 of each of these. It also includes in color designer series paper, and these are double-sided. If I can spread them out. Hold on a second, let's get this. Okay, here we go. Okay, and then this is the other side of all of those. It also includes all 5 of the in color stamp pads, and it also includes grid paper, and you get 5 in each one of these in colors. There's the Sweet Sorbet, Parakeet Party, Starry Sky, Tahitian Tide, and Orchid Oasis. So you get 5 of each of those. This is a great deal. This is there's been about 3,000 people who have signed up for this starter kit, and there's no obligation. Honestly, there's no obligation. You just purchase it, and then you can just start using the 20% discount, which is automatic when you become a demonstrator. So you don't have to sell, you don't have to hold shows, you don't have to do what I'm doing, the lives and so forth, only if you want to. So I'd love for you to join my team, and you can go out to theresatucker.net, and you can go out there and click on join. So I would love to have you on my team. Okay, starting June the 1st, which will be Wednesday, Stampin' Up! Is offering a BOGO, and this is on their kits. They've got lots of them, and right now if you buy one, you get 50% off. There's no limit on the number of kits you can purchase. And the 50% comes off of the most expensive kit. So if you buy just one kit, you don't get anything off. But if you buy 2 kits, the most expensive one, you will get 50% off. So that's a pretty good deal. You can go out to my blog, theresatucker.net, and you will see more information about that. The other thing is, beginning on July the 1st and running through August the 31st is Celebration. Also beginning on July the 1st and running through the end of December is our new mini catalog. So the Celebration works along with our annual catalog as well as with our mini catalog. So anything that you purchase in any of the current catalogs, you can go to the Celebration catalog and you can get free products. So for $50, if you spend $50 before tax and shipping, then you choose a $50 stamp set or paper or whatever is in this catalog. And I can't show it to you yet. One, I don't have it. And two, it's against policy. We can't show the inside of a catalog until it goes live. So, something else. Okay, so if you buy $100 worth of products, then you get $100 free product in here, which is a lot of times it'll be a stamp set and designer series paper. It could be just it could be dies. It could be, usually it's a stamp set and some sort of embellishment. So that starts on July the 1st, and you can start watching for early releases of the products from the demonstrators. Now, if you join Stampin' Up!, use the In Color starter kit, then you have access to this right now. You don't have to wait until July the 1st. You can go ahead and see the PDF online. So that's a pretty good deal. And let's see, is there something else? Nope, I don't think so. So let's go ahead and get started with this. Let me grab a drink. Okay, and so here we go. We're going to start with, hi Tanya, hi Kathy. Thanks for commenting. You're going to get your name in the drawing. I really appreciate it. It helps my business. Okay, so this is the card that we're going to make first. So it's the Waves of Inspiration and the dies, the corresponding dies that go with it. And for this class, I haven't done a lot of prep in advance. I have cut my cardstock, but I have not used the dies or did any of that kind of work, except for I think one would be the penguin. So first of all, we're going to fold this cardstock. Do you ever feel like your cardstock isn't the right length? I get paranoid about that. Let me just double check this. This is 8.5, yep, by 5.5. This is Pacific Point, and we're going to fold it in half. And then we'll use our bone folder. I usually score these in advance, but I didn't tonight. So this is going to be a landscape card, and the first thing we're going to add to this is the 5 3/8 by 4 1/8 piece of basic white cardstock. Now, all of these descriptions and everything is going to be on my blog. I'll have those available. You will be able to go out and print the recipe. You'll have everything that you need to make these cards. However, if you place an order with me of $25 or more, I'm going to send you everything you need to make these cards, including the designer series paper and the rhinestone jewels, free. I'll send that to you free. If you want to purchase my kit to make all 4 of these cards, that's $15, and I will I will cut, emboss, punch everything that I can. So, okay. Next we have the Night of Navy. This is 5 1/4 by 4. And it's going to go right on top of the basic white cardstock. If you don't have a demonstrator, I'd love for you to join my team. If you don't have a catalog, I'd be happy to send you one. But if you have a demonstrator, you can ask your demonstrator for a catalog. Otherwise, I'd be happy to send you one. You can text me at 217-469-2593, or you can comment on this video and I'd be happy to send you a catalog. Okay, so this piece of designer series paper is 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. Now, once again, as a reminder, this designer series paper is no longer available. So if you want this kit and you want to make the cards that I'm making tonight, it's $15 or free with a $25 order. So first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab a piece of scratch paper to put under here, and I'm going to stamp this wave with an Untitled Navy. The easiest way to stamp these waves, or any large stamp like this, is to turn it upside down and then add your ink this way. You're going to get better coverage, and it's going to be you'll be able to apply that pressure evenly. Okay, so we're going to put this down. Now I realize that this designer series paper is a little bit smaller than what I've got on my card. If you comment, share, or like on my on this video, then I will put your name in a drawing to receive 4 cards for free. You'll get the 4 best cards I have. If it's the cards I've already made, or if it's one that I'm making, you're going to get the 4 best cards. So let me clean this. This right here is a simple chamois. I cut mine in half. This is what we use to clean usually our photopolymer stamps, but you can clean all of your stamps with this. It's 147042, and it looks dirty, but it's fine. You just rinse it out and reuse it. Okay, so for here, we're going to go ahead and cut out this large wave. We're actually going to do 2 of these. We're going to do one in Night of Navy, and the other one is in Coastal Cabana. And these waves are different. They look similar, but they're made to stack on each other. So we'll go ahead and run this through the Night of Navy. And I'm going to bring up my big stamp cut and emboss machine because these are too large to run through on the mini stamp cut and emboss machine. That smaller machine will handle dies up to just under 3.5, I believe. So to run this through, we need plate number 1, and Stampin' Up! Has just come out with a new magnetic plate that goes with the large stamp cut and emboss machine. The small one doesn't have a magnetic plate yet, so we're hoping it'll come soon. All right, so we're going to go ahead and cut out excuse me, this, and I don't think I have enough room. No, we'll cut out the second wave in just a moment. Okay, so when you're using the magnetic plate, you only need plate 1, the magnetic plate, and the top plate. When you get your magnetic plate, the instructions on what plates to use to make the sandwich are incorrect. So you want to make sure that if you are going to use the magnetic plate, that you don't use plate 2. You're only going to use plate 1, 5, and 3. So that's what it's going to look like when you're done die cutting that out. So we're going to set this aside. Hi Ramona, glad to see you. Okay, so we're going to run this one through with the Coastal Cabana. Another thing that's important to let you know is do not run your dies through the same spot on your magnetic plate. This is a self-healing magnetic plate, and so you should move your die around. Even if you don't use a magnetic plate, you should still move your die around so that you're not wearing it in the same spot over and over. I know that for the plates, like these acrylic plates, they can warp if you run your dies through constantly at the same spot. And it's a good idea to kind of turn those once in a while too. All right, so I'm going to run this through over here. Sometimes I flip my whole magnetic plate around so that I can run it through that way. And so now I've got plate 1, plate 5, and plate 3. And the reason why I wrote top on the top of this plate is because I've got 2 plate 3s whenever I'm running this through without the magnetic plate. Then I have one that's all scratched up and it's on the bottom, and this one's for my top, and that I don't have any trouble with my plates ripping when I run them, when I use them that way. Okay, so here is this wave. And I'm sorry if you cannot see everything that I'm doing. I know that I've got limited space right here. I used to have my camera a lot higher, but then it seemed like it was harder to see what I was doing, so I lowered it, and that makes my work area a little smaller. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside for now. Put this back. All right, so these waves are going to be too big for this piece of designer series paper, but that's okay because we'll just cut off the extra. It's not going to matter. I do want it to come all the way over to the edge though. Now, if there's a couple of pieces that didn't fall out when you took your the die away, just use your pick tool and just push those out. Real easy. Okay, now we're going to glue this down. One of the options that I have actually is I could have put this through with a layer of adhesive sheet, and that would have pulled all of the extra pieces out, and it would have allowed me to just remove the backing and place this down. But I didn't do that. So we're going to glue it down. So when you're using the multi-purpose liquid glue, you don't need a lot. It doesn't need to be put everywhere. So just kind of use it sparingly. Now since this die is not going to fit this, I realize I'm going to get a little bit of this glue on my scratch paper, but that's okay. I got to reposition this. When you use the multi-purpose liquid glue, it does allow you a little extra time to move your die around before it's completely dried. Okay, so this one, Coastal Cabana, we're going to put this one on top like this. And just go ahead and dot this around. If you have adhesive sheets, you might want to use them. It would make it a lot cleaner. I could have demonstrated it. If I've got another one, I'll demonstrate it for you. Okay, so we're going to lay this one on top very carefully. My fingers are a little sticky, so okay, give that just a second to dry. I'm going to wipe my fingers off. I've always got a wet towel sitting by, or in this case I've got disinfecting wipes. Okay, so now that that's dry, I'm going to take these scissors and I'm going to cut the tails off here that I don't need. Okay. Now by doing that, I did cut off some of that glue, so I'm going to go ahead and just put a couple of drops on here. Yeah, easier said than done. Let's flip this over. I know you probably can't see what I'm doing. I'm just putting little bits of glue down there so these stay in place. Okay. All right. And we'll give that a little bit more time to dry before we put it down. So the next thing we're going to do is the happy birthday. So here's my happy birthday, and I like to go ahead and stamp my greetings on a piece of basic white cardstock before I put them through the die machine. So the Stamp Cut and Emboss machine is going to cut this out with this tag. But I'm going to stamp it on here first just because I have more control over where it's a lot easier to stamp it and then cut it out. If you cut it out and then stamp it, then you have to figure out where exactly the middle is and make sure that you've got it straight. And this way, I've got a little bit of playroom because I don't have to do it exactly straight. I have the die to put on, and that I will put on straight. So, clean that. Now for this one, I can use the mini Stamp Cut and Emboss machine. However, as I said, it does not have a magnetic plate. So, let me see. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to need plate 1, plate 2, and plate 3. I'm going to set this down here towards the bottom. Now, if you don't have a magnetic plate, like the small one doesn't have, sometimes it's helpful if you use a little bit of washi tape and hold that in place. All right, let's set that aside. Okay, now I also have this cloud. I could have cut this out at the same time. We don't mind doing it again though, do we? Now this comes with this cloud, this one that I'm getting ready to use, and these, let's see, what's this one? This might be Waves. I don't know if I've ever used it. Yeah, that looks like Waves. I haven't used it, nor that one is either. Okay, so let's get our cloud cut out. All right. Now for this cloud, I did use a little bit of Pull Party. Hold on a second, let me get that out of the way. Okay, good. I'll put this back on here so that we don't lose it. And I used the Pull Party and a sponge dauber to put a little color around the outside edge of this cloud. And I don't want to put a lot, so I'm just going to kind of swipe it like that. And like that. So there's our cloud. All right, now we can start putting this together. We'll go ahead and glue this down. And I know I put this on the opposite side of what I intended to do, so if you win these 4 cards, you're going to get the original one and not this one. All right, so for the happy birthday sentiment, I did pop that up. You can use Stampin' Dimensionals, or you can use foam sheets, which I prefer the foam sheets, just because it's sturdier. It feels, I don't know, I like the fact that it's not moving around and it's not gapping. So let's put this here. Take off the back. Put that down. Looks pretty straight. And then the cloud, I am going to pop it up as well, but the foam sheets aren't, because they're so large, it's better to use a Stampin' Dimensional. So I do use these both interchangeably. Okay, and last we're going to put on our Rhinestone Waves Basic Jewels. So remember, this is the card that we were making, and we're finishing up this one. And like I said, if you win these 4 cards, you're going to get the other one, because this one isn't quite as nice. And I usually put 3 of these on in various colors. And again, this is another product that Stampin' Up! Is not carrying any longer. If you want to make this kit, if you want to make these cards yourself, I will send you everything you need to make them, including the rhinestones and the designer series paper. Okay, so there's that one. Now the next one, let's get that out of the way. There we go. I don't want this to look all cluttered. Okay. All right, so we've got some twine. This is new. This came out, Stampin', it's in the 5 in colors. So this one is Starry Sky. I went ahead and pulled out, this comes from the Stitch So Sweetly die set, and I pulled this out in advance so that I didn't have to look for it. And then this one is from the the Stitched Rectangle dies, and this is the 4th to, it's actually the middle one, so it's the 4th to the largest and the 4th to the smallest, and that's what we're going to use for part of this card. Let's stand that up there. Now I'm going to show you something that I don't know if you've seen it before or if you've done it before, but the first thing I'm going to do is run this through. I think it will go through the mini, but let's see. Yeah. So we put down plate 1 and plate 2. And the top plate. Okay, so while I've got this out, I'm also going to go ahead and, well, I didn't know I put that through there. I'll go ahead and cut out the clouds. And I should have a piece of white, basic white cardstock. I don't see it. So I'll just grab a piece here. Plate 1, plate 2. And my clouds. I'm going to run these through up here at the top. there we go. We've got our clouds, and the only thing we need to cut out last is the tag or the greeting. So I'm going to get a piece of cardstock. And let's see, the greeting we have on here is "You're so totally awesome." That's the strength one. Here's the one, "You're so totally awesome." And we're going to stamp this with Night of Navy. And once again, I'm going to stamp the cardstock first, and then I'll line up my die. Okay. Stitch so sweetly. I'm going to hold this in place, run it through here. So I'm going to go ahead and flip my plate around. I feel like it's bowing just a little bit, so I'm going to turn it over. I try to keep the top plate clean. I don't have a bunch of, because I'm not using it on the bottom, it doesn't get scratched up like this does. And that seems to keep this from bowing. Okay, so we'll take this off. And there's that. All right, now, so the next thing that I need to cut, I don't know if I can cut it on this, but let's see. I might be able to. All right, so what we're going to do is take this and let's see, what is the exact length? This is 4 1/4. So I want to add this to the bottom like this. And it doesn't have to be exactly 4 1/4. I just want to get an idea of how much of this I can put through. All right, so we're going to try this. I don't know if I can do it on here, but we'll give it a try. So I'm basically going to run this through like this, and then I'm going to attach it to this piece of cardstock. And I'm going to hold this in place with washi tape. Oh, here it is. Oops. Make sure that goes in straight. All right, I'm going to set this aside. Remove the washi tape. Move this. Okay, so I'm going to attach this to the bottom, and it's going to be, well, it's going to be the top side actually, like this. And I want it about 4 1/4, so let's move this. That looks good. I'll hold that in place, and I'll put my multi-purpose liquid glue down here. So I'm lining this up on both sides. Like that. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is grab a little bit of the yellow. If you get a little bit of glue on your project, take one of these. It's like a ink eraser, and it will remove any adhesive that you got on your cardstock. Stampin' Up! Used to sell these. They no longer do, but I do sell a adhesive kit, and this is included in the adhesive kit if it's something that you'd be interested in having. So I've got some, my fingers are a little sticky, so I'm going to clean them again. I'm trying to move this over a little bit. It's not going to cooperate. That's okay. So this is 8.5 by 5.5. I'm going to fold it in half. That'll be 4 1/4. All right, so what I was saying is I'm going to take a little, I'm going to take a blending brush, and let's see, I don't remember what I used. I think it might have been saffron. Whoops. And I want to color this a little bit. And you don't ever want to go on with this full strength because it's usually just too dark, and also you just want to be really careful when you do this. I don't want it real dark, so I'm just going to go over it a few times like this. And that looks good. Okay, those blending brushes, we sell those as well, and you can wash them out, rinse them out, what have you, and then let them dry, and then they're good to go again. So you don't need a blending brush for every single color that Stampin' Up! Sells, because you can use those for color families. All right, so let's go ahead and put this down. And for this one, I did already cut out our pelican. So we're going to put him down here like this. I'm going to pop him up. Just move a couple of things. I'm going to take a little bit off here. So now we're going to put this over here, and I popped that up also. We'll put our clouds on. Now for these, I'm going to use dimensionals, because they're smaller. It's just easier. So I've got regular size and I've got the mini dimensionals. I use both. I can probably put another large one right here. Go ahead and take the backing off. Okay, and then I used Tuxedo Black Memento ink for the birds. All right, clean that off. And the last thing we're going to do is make a bow. I'm sure I've got way more of this than what I need. Get my ribbon scissors. Just tie that into a quick bow like that. Adjust it back and forth till you get the size that you want. I'll cut the tails off in a moment. I'm going to put this down with a mini glue dot. Clean that up. Okay, so all I need now are the rhinestones. Smaller one. Sometimes it's easier to use the other end. It's got just a little bit of, it's like clay. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it's sticky and it picks up your embellishments for you. Okay, so there's that card. We've got 2 down and 2 to go. All right, so what's next? Let's see. All right, so here's our basic white. This is for our tags and for cutting this guy out. This is going to be one of the layers, and then this one. Now this is to cut out these 2 birds, but I've decided that I would rather stamp the birds on than to use these because they're so big. I prefer the little smaller ones. So let's go ahead and get this folded. 8.5 by 5.5, folded, scored, 4 1/4. Okay. This is Night of Navy. Put it down. I just noticed that I don't have this Night of Navy out. So let me grab that. Okay. We're going to put on this piece next. Let me just double check what color this is. I think it's coral. Yeah, Calypso Coral. And again, I'll have all of my supplies that I'm using, the measurements, everything for you. You'll have access to this video. You can make these on your own. And then this is going to go, let's see, which way should I do it? Maybe like this. Remember, if you like, share, comment, your name is going to go into a drawing to win these 4 cards, or the 4 best cards. So yeah, just go ahead and do that, and I'll send these to you if I draw your name, and that goes for Facebook and YouTube. This will be up on YouTube later this evening. So I'm going to use, I think I used soft suede, yeah, for that, and then we will run this through and get it cut out. I'm going to set him over here. So I've got room. So I've got room for my tag. Now my tag, you're so totally awesome. That's your strength. Here we go. I'm going to stamp this with Night of Navy. My simple chamois. Each time I start a class, I rinse this out. You just squeeze it and rinse it, squeeze it and rinse it until the water runs clear, and you know it's clean. Okay, so let me see here. I need this. I'm going to hold this down. And I need this guy. I really like the magnetic plates. It just holds your die in place. And that's kind of nice. All right, I'm going to wipe my fingers off. My fingers get yucky. I don't want to get it on my cards. It's from all that ink. Okay, let's bring this guy back in. Plate 1. And remember, for the mini Stamp Cut and Emboss machine, it doesn't have a plate 3. It's plate 1s and plate 2s, 2 of those. If you're using your Stamp Cut and Emboss machine, particularly on the mini one, just make sure that you don't have these stacked right on top of each other, and keep your dies back here a little bit further, because these are beveled, and that is to allow the machine to grip these plates. So just want to keep that in mind. So if you do have trouble, that's probably part of the reason. Okay, we'll remove this. And this one. Okay, so before we put this down, we need to see what size of Night of Navy cardstock will fit through here. And I think that's about a 1/2 inch. You know what, I can measure it off of here easier, can't I? Yep, it's a 1/2 inch. So we just need a couple of small pieces. Let's do it this way first. That'll be easier to hang on to. Okay, so we only need a couple of small pieces. We can run it all the way through like this though. That's stuff on my being very gentle. There we go. So you can cut these tails. Let's see where my snips are. My ribbon scissors, my snips. So just kind of cut up to the center like this, and then from the corner to the top of that slit right there. And then you're going to do the same on this side. Up to the center, from the corner up, and then from that corner up. And then you can easily center this like so. Okay, there we go. We're going to start assembling. So this guy, I did not put him up on dimensionals because he's under the greeting. Just set him there. And you're totally awesome. My foam sheets. Make sure that is centered. So I'm using my sheet to help hold it down in place. Okay, so remember I said I didn't want to cut out. I just think they're so huge. So let's stamp them. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're going to add our jewels. Let's see. And I don't always do the jewels the same. I always try to use 3 or 5, or I try to stick with an odd number. And let's see. He's barely hanging on there. There we go. Okay, so that's our third card. Now we've got one more to go. Okay, so for this one, I need to get out my Stamp Cut and Emboss, the large one, because we're going to emboss. Let's see, this is our cardstock. It's already folded. I didn't realize there was stuff all over it. Let's get another one. Excuse me for just a moment. I know I'm reaching in front of you. Okay. So we cut these at 5.5. And then if you don't want to fold it over, you can score it at 4 1/4. Score, don't cut. There we go. That's a little nicer. All right, so for this, I'm going to put this piece through the Stamp Cut and Emboss machine. I just want a texture on the back of it. I got to remove my magnetic plate. I'm going to get plates 2 and 3 to run this through. Oops, here's my top. You know what? This is a 3D. Good thing I saw that before I tried to force it through. So when you're using a 3D folder, then you want to use plate 1 and 2 of the plate 3s. What is it? Let me double check. Using 3D. Oh, you use plate 1 and plate 4. Here we go. For the regular embossing folders, then you use plate 1 and 2 of the 3s, and for the 3D embossing folders, it's just plate 1 and plate 4. Okay. This is the Painted Texture 3D folder. So we're going to put that down. I tried to do these classes within an hour, but it depends on how many other things I have to talk about at the beginning. Okay, so we're going to put this piece of foil down. Now this is also exclusive to the Waves of Inspiration. And I'm looking for my card. Here it is. Okay, so for this one, see, this is why sometimes I just go ahead and run everything through in advance. But I know that you like to see how some of this works if you haven't seen this before. So we're going to stamp Your Strength is an Inspiration with Night of Navy. Clean your stamp, otherwise I get it all over myself. Okay, so let's cut this out. I'm going to use this die again. Hold that in place. 1, 2, and 2. All right. So when I made this card, I used the silver foil, but I thought with this one, I would go ahead and use the foil that's exclusive to the Waves of Inspiration set. And there again, if you want to purchase this from me, I will send you everything you need, including the foil, the rhinestones, which are no longer available, and the designer series paper, which is no longer available. And I will include all of that for $15 or for a $25 online order. You just go out to my store. You can go out to my blog, Theresa Tucker. It's Theresa with an H, Theresa Tucker. And up at the top it says shop now. I think it's at the top. I'm going to cut this in half. And then just place an order. If you need any help from me, just let me know. Okay, let's get that ready. Let's put down these strips. We're going to use this, and we're going to cut them in 1-inch strips. Okay. This is 3 inches wide. Oops. So what we're going to do here is space these out evenly. We'll start with the 2 on the outside. And then we'll put this one in the middle. And glue it down with multi-purpose liquid glue. One thing you want to be careful with your foil, if you get something on it, if you get glue on it and you didn't intend it, it's not going to come off very easily, and it's probably going to smear, and it's not going to look as pretty. So you just want to be extremely careful when you're working with the foil. Ask me how I know. Of course, I messed up, right? And then we'll place this one down here. And I do almost everything sideways, so let's see, does it go this way or this way? Here we go. Okay, so we don't want to disturb that. We'll just, Let it sit there for a minute. So we're going to put this down, and then we're going to use, this is a little tricky. Just a second, let me clean off my fingers. This is a little trickier because we've got two pieces here that we want to put down. In fact, it might be easier if I just go ahead and put this down first. Pull the back off, and then we'll center it here. Okay, now we're going to use some mini glue dots. So this is a trick I learned. Put a piece of ribbon around your mini glue dots, and it keeps it from unraveling and just going nuts. And then right now I just need to tighten this a little bit, so that's the nice thing about it, is you can just tighten it once you get down far enough. I'll flip this over. I'll put a glue dot here. If I'm lucky, I can get both of these pieces into that glue dot. I just need it to hold it long enough so I can put this onto the front of the card. Hopefully I didn't set that too far apart. No, it looks good. Good, good, good. Good, good, good. I love it when things work out. All right, so the last thing we need to do here is just to go ahead and glue this down. I want to show you one more thing before you leave. I created a masculine sampler with the He's All That set. All right, there's that one. So, just one second. Okay, so I created a sampler, and a sampler is a 12 by 12 piece of, I put this on a piece of 12 by 12 cardstock. And then I designed it and I laid everything out. You can have everything here for $28, and I will send you everything that you need to create this. You'll need to get your own frame. I got these at Walmart, and they come in black and white, and they're mainstays. They're not very expensive at all. And like I said, I'll do the rest of it. You will need, if you want this part down here, you are going to need this stamp set. It's called Grassy Grove, and like I said, I will do this. I'll sell it to you for $28 with everything ready to go. I'll have everything cut, punched, embossed, all of that, and just send it to you. So the $28 will then cover your cover my labor and also the postage. So I'm also willing to do this in my home. You're welcome to come here and we can kind of work on it together, however you want to do that, or I can send it to your house, or if you live locally, you can pick it up. So that's all I have for you this evening. I hope you enjoyed the cards. Please be sure to comment, like, share on Facebook and also on YouTube. This will be on YouTube here a little bit later. And let me know if you enjoyed this. And if I draw your name, you're going to get all 4 of these cards. Well, actually, you're going to get 4 of the best ones. So this one's probably not the best. You're going to get this card here. So, okay. All right. Once again, if you'd like to join my team, I'd love to have you. If you don't have a catalog and you'd like one, please just message me, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.